we both saw a movie separately.
Yes.
We saw Mid90s. We watched the trailer on the show.
Yep.
We loved the trailer.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about the actual movie.
Right.
What we think about it.
And how... the first thing I want to bring up is you and I watched a documentary on Hulu called Minding the Gap. And the reason we watched that is because the way they formulated the trailer for that seemed to directly mimic the trailer and the vibe for Mid90s. That's why I watched Minding the Gap, was because it almost felt like, well, they saw that trailer and was like, well, let's make our trailer look like that. And I said that I felt like I got sold a bill of goods because I thought that documentary was just going to be about a bunch of kids, you know, from different backgrounds skating together and coming together under skating. But they tackle some really heavy shit, like alcoholism and domestic violence and, you know, continuing that cycle and all that. And it kind of like caught us both off guard that was like, I don't know, about 20 minutes in, I was like, what the fuck is this about, man? And then about 30 minutes in, I was like, this is a Rick documentary right here. Now with Mid90s, I don't feel like I was sold a bill of goods, but I also did not expect it to get as heavy as Mid90s got.
I agree with that.
Man. Holy shit.
So you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I just no spoilers right now.
No spoilers right now.
I'll put up the sign when we go into spoilers. Yeah. And if I'm not lazy enough, I'll put in a timestamp.
Okay.
So, again, we were both hyped for this movie. I went into it, you know, Jonah Hill's first movie, written and directed by him. I'm excited. I go in there, and the movie starts. I'm like, oh shit, they're actually going to show the movie in 4:3.
Yeah.
Which kind of threw me off, because like, all right, they really want to go in, if you really want to do this.
Yeah.
All right. So, here's what I'll say.
Okay.
As a whole, I thought the movie was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the movie. First 20 minutes of the movie, I didn't like it.
Really?
I was actually wanting to walk out.
Why?
Just because. Okay, now I don't know if it just felt too real for me, or just that it was like. But see, I'm not offended. You know, but like some of the language they use in there was just too fucking real. Like,
I know exactly. The skate shop.
Yes,
the skate shop. Holy shit.
I was like, what the
I
fuck?
was dying. I thought that was hilarious.
It felt like I was hanging out with my friends in high school.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't have a pleasant time in high school. And I don't want to watch this shit.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Hit you a little too hard.
So I was like, fuck, man. It just made me really uncomfortable. And like I said, I'm not offended. Like, me and you, we joke about this, like, yeah, whatever, fuck.
Right.
But, because, like, I know you guys are joking, but back then, you know, people I hung out with because I be honest, I got therapy. I had no one else really to hang out with, you know?
Right.
Well, I had the computer lab, so. But anyways. But yeah, so, yeah, it hit really close as far as, like.
Same here, and I'll explain
like,
why when I get to it, too.
Out. Like, fuck this
shit.
I don't want to see this. I'm like, no. You know, like, I've still, I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie. I've came close to walking out of that movie. The Tourist, don't see that shit. Angelina Jolie and fuck, I forgot who else it was.
Yeah.
And Dell. Fuck that movie. But yeah, like, I wanted to walk out in the first few minutes. But, you know, like, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to sit through this.
Yeah.
And watch it. And I'm glad I did, but at the same time, I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to talk about without going into spoilers. Like, overall, the movie was a good movie. I liked the skateboarding in it.
Okay.
Everyone did a good job. The kid who said, you said he was actually a skater.
All those kids are.
Yeah. But, like, you know, he had to fake it.
Yeah.
He did a really good job of
faking
it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because he took some spills that I would, you know, I've taken.
Yeah.
Or we've all taken.
Of course.
Skateboarded. And it was, he did a really good job, but like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I want to put it up as like, oh my God, I love this movie. You know, as my scale of like good, bad, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's a high medium, you know, that I liked it. But at the same time, like, I probably wouldn't watch it again.
I fucking loved this movie.
Real quick though, I also want to talk about the acting.
Yeah.
The acting was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. because they were all kids just being kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
It felt close to even like the documentary you mentioned.
Yes.
Like they were acting like it was like a documentary.
The second lead, the kid that's trying to be a pro skater.
Ray.
His name is Nikhil Smith.
Ray.
Dude is
He did not get enough fucking screen time.
No, he did not, did he?
Right? No, he did not. He did not.
He was so good, man.
See, that's where we get into the story. So the story with him wanting to be pro, you know.
I wanted them to go into that more.
Yes, me too. And the little kid wanted to learn how to skate.
Yeah.
The guy Ray who wanted to, or the kid Ray,
Yeah.
who wanted to be pro, like it felt like he was, you know, the one everyone looked up to.
Yes.
But it wasn't enough for me to convince me that was the case.
Right.
Which I think is where they kind of fell short on, or he fell short on. I think we kind of got more scenes with him.
Yes.
More of him saying, you know, you don't like, yeah, I hang out with these guys, but you don't want to be like them. You know, it's kind of something like that. Like, I've been talking to the little kid about that. And they just I think he missed a lot of good opportunities with scenes between, I forgot the kid's name, but Sunburn and, and Ray.
Yeah.
There could have been some really good. There were good scenes with them together. Like,
yes.
Like when he built his skateboard and
when he talked to him outside, and then went skating with him.
Like really those two scenes.
Yeah.
And there were little ones.
He has some great lines in that movie.
Yeah.
Like one of the lines, he goes, "You take the hardest hits out of anyone I've ever seen," and then he stops. Everybody's quiet, and he goes, "You know you don't need to do that, right?" Like that dude is a fucking star. Not only is he an amazing skateboarder, but that dude can go far in Hollywood if he wants to. And I think he's been in a couple other little things, but yeah, he can go. The sky is the limit for him, man.
Yeah.
Nikhil Smith was
see
awesome.
more of him.
Yeah, I wanted a movie based on him at the end. So I love this movie, and before we get into like spoiler stuff, I want to talk about like, and I don't
really quick. I don't want to like diminish or put anyone other actors down because they were all fantastic too.
Yes.
Fuck shit was great.
Yeah.
I like some of the decisions he made.
Right.
But oh my god, what's his name?
Ruben. Was it Ruben?
Ruben.
Yeah.
I knew kids like Ruben. Fuck Ruben.
Yeah.
Dude. Fuck him. I hated that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Just because I knew kids like him, I've hung out with kids like him. I was like,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He did a really good job of acting
like a
in order
shitbag
for me to hate him.
Yes.
So good job, that actor. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay, so I normally don't like talk about technical things when it comes to movie reviews because I like to be like, this was my experience with the movie. This is the thing about the movie I really liked or I didn't like. But there are some technical things that I want to talk about that are what made me love the movie. The way Jonah Hill wrote it, it didn't feel like a movie. It felt like a documentary. I'm so glad like it wasn't, as much as I wanted more of Ray, I'm so glad it wasn't, man, I'm going to go pro one day and you guys are just fucking, like, I'm so glad that wasn't the thing. I'm so glad it wasn't like, we only got the summer to make this video. Like, they could have put so many movie tropes in to get to the end game, but didn't.
And that's where the value of that movie increased because
yes.
it showed and not tell.
Yes. The scene where he puts the board together for Sunburn, like, I'm so glad that they put that in there. Stevie, yeah. I'm so glad that they put that in there because I've talked about it on here before when I talk about skateboarding, when we did the board setup before. Like, that is my favorite part of skateboarding, is putting together a new board, putting the grip tape on, cutting it off, that is my God, I love that scene.
That scene was like a real friendship scene right there.
Yeah.
There was like no music. It was just him just putting the board together for him excited to get the board.
And the sounds of putting together a skateboard. And like I said, for me, that is one of my favorite things about skateboarding, is putting together a fresh board.
Yeah.
And the other thing is something that they touch on in the movie too, and that's just cruising. Just getting on your board.
That was a good shot when they were cruising down the road, the highway, just like karting. That I like that a lot.
To me is like, I don't know. There are few feelings in the world better than just fucking cruising on your skateboard. And I'm so glad that the two things that I love the most about skateboarding, they kind of really focused on. But yeah, I like the writing. I like that there was like no 3 days later or in a couple of weeks later, none of that time stamp bullshit. Like it just felt like a natural passage of time. And the way it was written, it felt like a documentary. It felt like a day in the life, so to speak. Like I said, they could have easily put shitty tropes of like, this is the big. It wasn't a basic 3-act structure. Like
it didn't feel like it.
No. And what I will say about Jonah Hill is like he nailed a vibe so good to where when I walked out, I wasn't upset that this movie was 90 minutes long, but I was like, you know, this could have been a short film and been just as powerful and just as good. I'm glad it wasn't. But the thing that Jonah Hill nailed as a writer and director was vibe.
That was
and a tone. And yeah, and I got the music. The use of music was fucking amazing.
Dude, I didn't even know.
Holy shit!
Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross to do the music.
Yeah.
And I saw that, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I do.
That was impressive.
This, so far this year, this is my favorite movie I've seen this year.
My favorite thing about this movie, mostly, actually, since you brought it up, was the music.
Yeah.
The music was really what's the deal for me. The actor who played Ray. Also, what I loved about the movie. But at the same time, like, they could have, like I said, they could have done so much, and because they didn't, I don't really feel like...
Right.
Like, it's a good movie,
yeah.
But to be honest, I'm not going to put it up there in my...
Okay.
You know, best of movies.
This is on my list for sure. All right, so put it up. Because now...
Oh, spoilers. Okay, we're
yeah.
going to get into spoilers.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Brian, if you'd like to cover your ears, or... No, you don't care? All right.
Okay, so when this goes away...
We'll be done.
We're done.
Okay, so speaking about they could have done more or could have told more, and throughout the movie I felt like we're not getting any resolution to these plot points that they're introducing. But then when the movie ended, it was when I felt like, oh, this was not a movie based on plot. This was not a movie based on getting from point A to point B. And that's something I fucking loved about it. Standout of the movie is Lucas Hedges. Holy shit. Because they showed a trailer for Boy Erased prior to the Mid90s coming on.
That's right.
And
I think 2 trailers with him in it.
Yeah.
I forget what the other one was.
And the range that dude has is fucking insane. Like, okay, so in this movie,
I like how he always had orange juice with him.
Right, and they don't ever fucking explain that. And I'm so glad they don't. He's obviously bipolar. Obviously. He's got something wrong, but they don't ever fucking show it. They don't talk about it. They don't give you any more insight into him as a character other than...
That's good character development.
Yes.
Without telling people. That's showing. That's what something as Jonah Hill's an actor and now this writer director.
Yeah.
When you're an actor, like you're basically training for being a director because you know what you're gonna go. You know the process already.
Yeah.
And because he knows that process and he's worked with like really big directors, you know, Martin Scorsese and a few others, like at least that's the only one that came to mind. Like he did really good about showing and not telling.
Yeah.
And the way these characters develop is so natural that he did a good job.
Yeah. And there was only one scene where I felt like they were giving you a little bit too much exposition in the dialogue. And it's when they're at the park and it's like the first time that Sunburn's really hanging out with them, or Stevie, and he's sitting with Ruben and he's asking him about all the guys. And Ruben basically runs down... Oh, this is why he's this way. This is this guy. And but even then, it didn't feel like ham-fisted, like shoving it down your throat, because it's like, you know, first time you really hang out with people, you're gonna try and find a way to figure out who they are, and what you're gonna do is ask somebody like, oh, so what's the deal with this guy? Why do they call him fuck shit? And why is his nickname fuck shit? Is it better to have a nickname? Like, do I want a nickname? Yeah. So that was the only part that where it felt like a movie, but it didn't feel too much over the top. But yeah, they never explain the orange juice. They never explain the mom's past. They never explain the brother and his obvious mental disorder. One of the things that really bummed me out is they don't show you the CD that he buys for his brother. Yeah. And I wanted to know. I was like, well, what CD was it? It was like They do a lot of really cool stuff.
For a second, I thought it was just one of his CDs that he took from him
and re-repped it. Yeah, I thought that too. But he goes, I know you don't have this one.
Yeah.
I'm like, but yeah. And then I don't know, man. Like the vibe when I'm saying that a lot because that's what this movie is about. It's about vibe and tone. And when he lands his first ollie, I remember how that felt.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like, it wasn't a good one. And if he would have tried to ride it out, he probably would have fell off the board. But he stepped off before he fell off. So guess what? That's a land in my book. Like, and that's what goes through your mind. Like, they nailed that, man. And then right after that, they do the scene on that roof gap, and he starts rolling down. And I was like, if he lands this, then this is this movie's shit. I'm out if he lands this.
I knew he wasn't gonna land it. What I thought was gonna happen was he was gonna go and actually like fall and hang on to like.
No.
I thought that was
fucking boom. Yeah. Yeah, all the skateboarding felt real, legit. I remember I talked about this with you guys a couple weeks ago, and like there was a lot of people in the quote unquote skateboarding core that were like, oh, Jonah Hill's just trying to make money off our culture. And then like if you listen to people, it's like, no, you guys, Jonah Hill used to go skate the Santa Monica courthouse ledges when he was a kid. All these people knew who he was, and not because he was a famous actor or because they were best friends or hung out, but when you all go and skate the same spots, you tend to figure out who people are. But yeah, it's just one of those things where like that was the thing that really bummed me out about the whole thing was like people that think that they're the gatekeepers to skateboarding and skateboarding culture dogging the movie before they even saw it because they thought it was going to be a bad representation of skateboarding, and it wasn't. It was a perfect representation of skateboarding, and it was about 5 different kids from 5 different backgrounds coming together because they like riding on this piece of wood with wheels on it. And the thing that it goes a place where you don't expect it to go. And here's where we're gonna really get into spoiler stuff. Like the end of this movie was fucking. It came so fast and so quick, and I was speechless when it happened because you can feel it coming. You can feel it coming, and they even tease it once, and then the flashes, yeah, and then a car accident happens, and then of course the only one that gets seriously hurt is Stevie, and
yeah, that was my breaking point there.
Yeah,
like there had some breaking points, but like when I had that, like I was like, that shit messed me up because Ray. When, like, everyone looks at him, they know he's drunk. They know they shouldn't get in the car, but Ray's like, fuck it.
Just get in.
Just get in.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, no. But, like, I've been in fucking situations like that, man. I have. And it's scary as shit, man. And, like, oh, man, that movie broke me that way.
Yeah.
Like, this is a depressed fest that got to me, man.
But the thing about it was, it kind of built to that. Like...
It did.
It felt feel good at the beginning, and then you see cracks in the facade, and then shit starts crumbling down, and then it literally crumbles down.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, he better not be dead. Like, they better not kill this fucking character. I will be so pissed if they do.
I didn't think they were gonna kill him, but I thought something was bad was gonna happen to him. Like maybe like, oh, they had to like cut an arm or a leg or something like that.
Right.
Just because.
Well, yeah, his arm was crushed by a car, but he was in a cast at the end, so it was like...
He's gonna be fine.
Right.
But...
And that's where that line came in, where he said, you take the hardest hits, but you don't have to do that. And the way it ended, with 4th grade showing them the video that he'd made over that summer, I'm assuming it was a summer,
yeah,
and not knowing that was going to be a thing, because they don't tell you at the beginning of the movie, we're going to make a video this summer, guys, which... could easily have been.
Why? Because they had 4th grade. I had to look him up. His name in 4th grade was the one who was filming everything.
But I mean, okay, but it's not obvious. I mean, when I was younger, we filmed everything too. We didn't really keep a lot of shit.
Nice,
but
like sprinkle to like,
yes,
like they were gonna have something.
Yeah.
You know, to show at the end, which was 4th grade filming everything, and I have to say that the character of 4th grade has to be Jonah Hill.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
As close to him
As
as
close to him as
anybody in
anybody.
the movie.
Yeah.
And I love the song choice for the video. That's one of my favorite fucking songs. But yeah. Anyway, I really, really enjoyed this movie, and I guess the spoilers are over.
Okay.
I liked that everybody was at the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of those things. And I went and saw this with my wife, and she was like, that mom was a lot more calm about it than I would have been. And I was like, yeah, but they were all there. And she's like,
that they cared.
And she's like, yeah, that's true. But yeah, spoilers are over. I've got a couple more things to say, but it's not spoiler related, so you can take that down. So yeah.
Hold on, let me talk to you. Okay.
So
Okay, D.
now, I never got up to shit as crazy as happened in this movie, but I had summers like that where I would spend with a couple of cousins of mine who were older than me, and we generally didn't get along really at all. But when I started skating, then we started to get along better. And I landed my first ollie, cheater way off a curb, but I landed my first ollie hanging out with them over a summer. And like, again, we didn't get into any like drugs or fucking hardcore partying or anything like that, but I was about 11 or 12. And hanging out with these cousins of mine that were like 15 and 16, 15 and 17, older than me. And we would skate around, and that's how I spent summers. And yeah, so this movie like hit really close to me because of that, where I didn't like them as people. I thought they were shitty people, but we bonded over skateboarding when nothing before that kind of could ever bring us together. Whether it was like we all liked the Kevin Smith movies, we all liked video games, we all like but nothing brought us close, but skateboarding did.
Right.
And it was literally just cruising around the neighborhood, and then like I said, landing my first ollie when I was like 12, and then after that like didn't really do anything else skateboarding wise as far as tricks. But even to this day, like I said, my favorite thing about skateboarding is, you know, every day at 2:20 when I put my headphones in and I skate 4 blocks down to my son's school to get him, because it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes on my board where I just turn my brain off and just fucking skate. And it's the best feeling. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I love this movie so much, is because it did hit really close to home. In some positive ways and some negative ways, but I tend to, we talk about this a lot. I talk about this a lot. I try to be more positive than negative. Every once in a while I can get in a rut and be negative, but the positives definitely outweigh the negatives when I think about those years. And it was skateboarding and that vibe and that music and that whole deal. So that's why I think that is probably why I love this movie so much. Maybe in a vacuum, I would have a lot more critical things to say about it, but it is definitely going to be in my top 5 at the end of this year. And I'm pretty confident I know where it's going to end up. There's still a couple movies left I want to see that are going to make some waves in that list. Creed 2 being one, Bohemian Rhapsody being another, and Anna and the Apocalypse being another.
Forget about that. Yeah,
So-
I can't wait for that too. For me overall, like I said, I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunities in this movie, and I'm not saying that it was a bad movie. 'Cause
Right.
It wasn't. It was a good movie, but there was a lot they could have done to make it even better,
Yeah.
and it just kind of fell a little short for me.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I like the movie, but it could have been better.
I don't think it could have been better, but I
I'm not saying
understand.
it could have been.
No.
Okay, correction. The story, it could have been more developed.
It could have been different.
Could have been different.
Yeah,
There you go.
and I totally hear what you're saying and your criticisms, and they make a lot of sense. But I think this movie is definitely,
Because I was able to remember Ray, Stevie, and Fuck Shit.
yeah,
All the other characters were there, which were good characters,
Yeah.
but You know, those characters I just mentioned, like there could have been a lot with that.
Yeah.
You know, and there was that exposition when Ray was talking to Stevie about how fuck shit helped him through his.
Yeah, which I thought was an
Which is
amazing
nice,
thing.
but like, you know, I don't know. There could have been a lot more there, but I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
So
Very, very good movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
I still recommend to go see it.
Oh, definitely. I saw it first showing, which was 10:45 showing at an AMC. My wife and I were the only people in the theater. It felt so rad, like a personal private screening. Yeah, it was pretty dope. So go check it out, man.